Hi guys, Blitzguy here. In today's video I'm going to show you how I build these container homes at Nordhagen Beach. Let's get into it. As I've continued to build at Nordhagen Beach, I have been finding it a bit troublesome trying to figure out how to build extra structures, how would it work in the general layout of the settlement, how would it work in a flow-friendly type of way, and I figured that we are right by the water. There'll be ships coming through with different cargo, and why not have a very small dock slash harbour being here with a crane that we could fix up thanks to the Hodge mod, right? And we've got these little shipping containers, plenty of ships going around before the wall. No reason that there wouldn't be a few of them here. The landscape was a bit of a nightmare to deal with. This is like a proper slope. So what I did was I grabbed some of the cliffs from CVC. So just a big old cliff. And I kind of flattened this out a bit because I tried several times to try and put some shipping containers along here. And it just wouldn't work because the incline is quite awkward to work with. So we've got sort of like a level area for us to work with now. And the plan is the crane has lifted a couple of these crates out and put them on the top here. And the plan for it is, I'm going to show you with these lovely little furniture pieces. All right, we're going to have one on the ground floor with a solid one on the back. So actually I'll do that in a different color. All right, and then on top of that, we will have another home. Okay. And then on the side, we'll have another like closed one with another home on the top there. So we'll have a little living quarters for this spread one, living quarters for the green one, and whatever color this one was. This is just metal. This one would also be a living quarters, but we need it bigger and usable. The box houses mod from Master Plan is fantastic. It gives us all of the pieces we need to make our shipping container houses. So I'm going to start off with a floor, and what we'll do is we'll put these two across like this. I'm not too worried about them being like perfectly flat to the bottom. Right, and if they go under, this one doesn't really matter. I don't know why I picked red, because I want this to be a different color. Alright, I'm gonna do the solid one first. So we have a few different options. So these are actual doors. I want just the crate end wall, and that's the normal end wall. And then we have just the normal walls themselves for the sides. Alright, so it doesn't really matter what we do for this one. If I decide to repurpose it in the future, then quite easy just to switch up how it actually fits together, because I could just change that to a proper door. There's our enclosed one. This is going to be our first living quarters. We're going to do this in the red. And what I'll do is I will use the door version for this one. Look at that. Perfect. Doesn't even interfere with the garden plots that we did the other week. That's good. Right, I'm going to put these walls on the side, and we'll put this on the end. Like somehow I've managed to get lost going through these menus, and I'm going to use this half wall So it looks as though that somebody has got their power tools out and just sliced it open. It'll work quite nicely like that. So there's our first little residence. And I think for down here, don't think that would actually work. Might have to switch that for just the crate wall. Like, I like the bars and stuff on it, but what I think we might have to do is change that one to the doorway. So somebody has like hacked this to pieces with their power tools. Okay, and we'll figure out how to get like up to the top. Might have to tweak our layout a little, but this is gonna kind of work how I want it to. Okay, so we will go with the grey as the other side one, not side one, like the one that's gonna be enclosed. That's just so I could easily get around. Right, well, I don't actually want to enclose this one, you know. This one can have cool opening doors. Like that, and that, and then like that, and that. It might be, yeah, it's kind of snapped a bit too close, so I'm just gonna pull it out a bit. Enough surface snap so it gets into the right place. Like that. Well, snap. Snap. And then snap. Okay. Yeah, because like I can put some steps there. That'll work quite nicely. I need just the end one there. The next build series is going to be a Brotherhood of Steel build. We're going to be doing that at Sunshine Tyrants, so let me know in the comments below if you want to see me build there, or head over to the Discord server. You'll find the link in the description. Okay, so we've got 2 homes on the bottom, rather than the first idea of having just a single one. And that means I could actually have like a little rooftop garden up here. Okay, so we'll go with a green one. Oh, the green one wants to snap lovely on the top. How come didn't do that before with the other pieces? Just while I'm finishing off this last crate, why don't you like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. Slightly different than what I was planning on doing, but general idea still kind of works. But what I'll do is move a few of the pieces so they're not quite as symmetrical and pretty looking, just to make it look a bit more haphazardly thrown together, and then somebody's gone, oh, we could live here. So just give me a second and I'll do just that. So while I was in the process of moving the cabins around, like very subtle, but they're no longer fully aligned, I also put these steps in, and there is steps on the back side here with some thrown together floors. They're all kind of like pushed together because these aren't quite as wide as a full floor piece, but it adds to the feel that I've kind of just gone and thrown it all kind of together. I'm going to throw on some railings around the outside, and once that's done, we can actually figure out who's going to be living here. So I'll have to kind of fill in these holes with different like supports and stuff, just so not like completely falling apart. But I do like how this kind of came together. So it's a nice little place for people to hang out. What can I put in there? I believe I've got a small, yeah, but this got a small one here. I'll put that there and then place everywhere just to pull it out and push it down. That, fill in a gap there. We'll do the same on this one as well. And just like that. Kind of make it look like it's just bringing the roof all sort of together. And with some luck, the last railing will just fit through the door. Of course it will. We'll just pull that back ever so slightly. You're not able to notice from the inside or the outside really, but it just doesn't collide with the railing anymore. That's fine. Perfect. Okay. So for powering this, don't know whether to put something on the back here. So, like, nice big generator. Figured the powering 3 homes here. Like that. I'll seal it up a bit with some fencing. Not really sure how well the conduits will actually work for this, but we can see. That'll give it the power that we need. I hope it's going to go through that back cabin. So I want gold string lights. And with the floor pieces on the top are actually poking through, which unintentionally have given us like a way of supporting the lights in here. So I might actually just push them all down ever so slightly. Let me just do some finishing touches to the structure and we can do a bit of decorating. So I'm just going to do some simple decorations in here, make a small living area. I figured I could use the dramatic and practical counters to make like a windowsill in here, but it also gives us the shelving like on the inside. We'll lower this down so it doesn't like stick through, and so the counter isn't floating as well. But I wanted the crate to be visible, but I liked that this gave it like a little windowsill as well. Thought that looked quite cool. Just want to put up some meshing on the side. I'm going to go into new shack walls just to grab the mesh, and I'll push that in again and just get that beautiful. So looks like they've like cut it open and then went, well, now we've got some light. That looks quite cool, really. Okay, so I want a bed in here so I can get through the door. So the beds are always a funny one because there isn't really many choices on the beds. Like I like this one and this one. So I like just to try and mix up the beds a bit. But in this small area, it might prove to be a little difficult to kind of change up how it actually works. Like, to make like a little wooden bed here. Yeah, we can. Alright, I'm gonna scale this up. Not too much though. It is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be that size to fit the bed in. But what I'll do is I'll pull it down, spin it around a bit. Alright, put another one in. Just like small little things like that to make the bed look that bit different. It's a nice little raised bed now. Right. So little space to be working with. Put some chairs in. Don't know what would actually have been like in these containers. Not really put much thought into like the stuff that you might find in a shipping container. Chances are most of them would have been looted long before anybody like set up shop. But it's not nothing that we can just brush away and just be like, yeah, they found some chairs or something in here. I'm gonna go to decorations, workshop decoration pack, living quarters. I just like being able to use these to like fill in the area a bit more without having to do a lot of hand placing of objects. I like putting the hand place stuff in, but sometimes it's just like I just want to make it look that bit more cluttered, and mods like these make it so simple to do. I'm not saying that everybody in the wasteland has a drink problem, but have that next to your bed. Alright. If we've got some like this could be the gardener's house, you know. Like look this out here. Because he's like right next door to the gardening plots. So this is the gardener's house. Decided it. The gardener is too drunk to get through the door. And I'm sure we have some small plant pots, not in toilets. Apparently we don't. Not in here anyways. Plants, there we go. Look, you could have lots of plants. Yeah. Just steal pots and stuff from various places across the Commonwealth or from these containers. Nice simple decorations. I'm gonna go decorate the other two and come back with a final tour. So please bear with me and I'll see you in a second. And after quite a bit of time spent decorating, I have 3 fully decorated container homes. So we have our gardener's home on the bottom here in this red one. So just added a bunch of extra like gardening decorations out on the front. As we come in, just added a few extra little bits of decorations in here. Very small. I also doubled up all the beds, so like all of the beds have like a proper bed and then a bunk bed. So that will just help with my settler numbers, make sure it doesn't get attacked. So I also added this very rickety little staircase, and on this side I did fill in our little shed here. But this one, I am quite pleased with how this turned out. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with this, and I ended up going with something quite simple really. The hoarder. So there's just stuff everywhere. Like you can barely get in. Boxes everywhere. Tools left lying around. And it's just a very small walkway to get through. And the guy somehow manages to live in here. And I'm going to try to make a little built-in bed. I thought it looked pretty cool. So we've got the warehouse cabinet on the bottom with filing cabinets, and then I flipped over the drawers and made a nice little enclosure there. Getting stuck on my way back out there. If we come round, I filled in everywhere with the stairs. Get up that little hill there. And his rubbish has just like ended up outside his container as well. Fenced in the generator. And if we come upstairs, we've got a small outdoor area. I did like add windows here, so we've got the warehouse windows. If we come on in, this one's a lot less chaotic, but I figured we could have like a guy in here just living by himself, trying to just get by in the wasteland. And I do think it works. Very small, but it gives enough life to the settlement overall. But quite an interesting way of building with these containers. You can just drop them in any settlements in any sort of configuration you want. But that's going to wrap up for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.